Hello, welcome back to So On Time. This is season 2, episode 3, Florida edition. Watch out. We might cut that
That
out.
was real OD.
Um,
No, we not cutting that.
okay.
The people really need to see you, the real you that I see on an everyday basis.
I want to say it's every day.
Dre be in rare form sometimes. He just had these random moments. But yeah, I'm Deja, y'all. If you're new, welcome.
Hi, I'm Andre.
Um,
We are the host and co-host of So On Time.
yeah.
Welcome.
Today we are in Florida celebrating Dre's birthday. Yay! So yeah, that's why our background looks different. We're in the hotel. Yes, it's been an interesting trip so far. So when I booked the flights, I didn't pick our seats. And I asked Dre, he doesn't remember, but I'm like, do you need a aisle seat? Obviously, because he's tall. Like, should we see about putting you in the exit seat so you got more space? And I just remember you being like, no, we good or something, because I didn't do it. And lo and behold, both of us, like, we were in the same row, but we weren't next to each other. So like he's on the left side, I'm on the right side of the plane. We both end up with middle seats. Cause I was just like,
And even though Deja set me up for failure, talking
I
about,
thought he had an aisle seat
she's
because
talking about, oh, you're in seat C,
yeah,
and I'm in seat E, and it's like E and a C don't look alike. How did you mess that up?
it sound like
Do telling me like, hey, you in my seat? I'm in 24C, and I gotta look at my wife like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and I checked, and the man was right. So then Dre moves to the middle, and I am crying. I'm trying so hard not to laugh because I'm just like, dang, I should have just went with my first mind and just chose our seats.
It was cool. This is the first time I actually stayed up for a flight because I usually go to sleep because it's so painful. But I stayed up and we watched the Barbie movie separately
but together. Dre had the audacity, y'all, that when the flight attendants walked by and they asked him if he wanted a snack, he said no. The best part about a Delta flight is the Biscoff cookies.
I don't like eating next to people.
And but I was frustrated, like, dang, you didn't even think of me though. I'm smashing.
Yeah, I saw you.
I'm dumping the chips in.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm getting my money's worth.
That's when I realized, like, oh damn, she did mention she was hungry. I should have got something.
Man,
but I don't like eating next to people. I really don't like. If I don't know you, I'm not about to really just chow down next to you like that.
I would throw down. I would eat ribs.
But not if I don't know you.
Stuff
like
that they tell you not to eat in front of people. I will
if
throw
I'm not
down.
comfortable, like we not. Yeah, if we very close to each other, and I'm not comfortable with you. I'm not really about to eat.
All right, we didn't had a long enough intro, y'all. So last episode we talked about the whole ring thing. So now let's get into the proposal and leading up to the proposal. Well, we almost done with our mini series of just catching y'all up on where we've been this past year. We almost done. Mm-hmm. So continue to bear with us, okay?
Thank you.
Amen. So
glory to God.
We end on, you talking to my parents, letting me know like this ain't the official proposal. And we go straight into wedding planning. Like we said last episode, if you didn't listen to it, go listen. But at this point, like day one, ring is set, DJ, cake lady, and photographer are all set. So now we just at a place of finding a venue. So this banquet hall was my very first job. And so it was very nostalgic, and it was just like, wow. I used to work weddings, y'all, every weekend. That's pretty much what I worked. And it's like, wow, this is the place I'm about to get married at. Stuff is like really full circle. Like life is really full circle. So, but before we got to that point of finally settling on a venue, we went back and forth on even if we were going to get married that year. We thought about getting married and not telling people and actually having a wedding the following year, get married at pastor's office, my parents' house, our house. We had so many different ideas, but eventually we decided to actually have a, I guess, big wedding because we had so many people that needed to really be there.
Yeah, it was
oh, sorry.
With my new career and everything like that, it was just like, oh, we can actually get married when I actually can take time off. And
oh yeah, so we find the ring. That's the other part. And then Dre goes on the road for a month straight right after because he had to go away for training for his new job. Well, we said that already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was when it came down to like what we're gonna do for the wedding. It was just more so like we could elope, which we mentioned in the last podcast. Last podcast, wow,
That's
last
episode.
episode. Get married in Paris. Paris.
In Paris,
Get
you
married.
ain't never give me that option. What? Why am I just now hearing this?
Get married in pastor's office.
Oh, okay.
Like yeah, what we mentioned in the last episode.
Oui, I do. Bonjour. All right, I'm done.
But yeah, when it finally came down to it about what we want and everything like that, we did want our parents and family involved. I have a big family in general, so it was just like, okay, we can actually do this way. Find a venue and everything, and like she said, everything was basically already handled before then. So yeah, it just made it easier going to um, my new company, being on the road, letting them know like, hey, I got something set up at this time, and they honored it and everything like that. So it was good. But yeah, leading up to the proposal, I think you mentioned in the last episode that you already knew about it, but didn't really know. So um, at certain times of the year, the ministry team has to preach. So I was thinking about how I was going to do the proposal because when we first got the ring, it was just like, yeah, I don't want to do it like this. I wanted to make it special because there's like surprises. She kind of likes surprises, but don't like surprises. But if you have to,
I like surprises.
Okay, they're just like surprises. Like so it was just like, so how am I going to do this? Like it's cool that I got the ring, but how am I going to present it to her? And we usually have like a little family gathering, which I was thinking that would be that time, but it's also late in the year, so I also had like something on my mind. My dad travels for basketball still, glory to God, and he has something going on in New York. And we, with the school we went to, there was the conference we was in the school that we went to. There was two schools in New York that we played, so we've been to New York a lot. So I thought it would have been like nostalgic to actually go there and spend some time and go to this one spot that their coach, the volleyball coach, took them to a lot. And if you don't know about juniors, go ahead and catch up last season. It's up there. Season 1.
Juniors is the restaurant. If y'all remember the show Making the Band, Diddy told like Dylan, but he told all of those people to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge and go get him some cheesecake from Juniors. That's how good this cheesecake slaps.
Yeah, so I thought it would have been a nice experience, but I knew also that whatever I did, she automatically gonna know that I'm about to propose. So it's like it's not really a surprise, but it's a surprise that like I actually put in some thought to actually do something. So after that long explanation, found out that Deja was preaching, and I'm like, oh, this would be the perfect time to actually do this. And she actually had a dream about it, which she mentioned.
I'm gonna talk about that in a minute.
And okay, go ahead and talk about it. Cause I'm
so here's the funny part, y'all. So we end up going to. Let me see. Yeah, we end up going to this funeral. And the night before we go to a funeral, like the ministry team and some people from the church, I had a dream that we were sitting in this old school looking church. It had the old school church pews. And Dre stood up and he was about to give this speech. And as soon as he stood up and like got the mic, you know how people do like testimony or something like that? It kind of looked like that. Mm-hmm. So he gets up and he gets the mic. And then our minister was like, somebody put a timer on him because Dre is known to be very long-winded, right? And so
yeah, I don't talk a lot, but when I do, it's kind of just like, let me go ahead and get all this out so people don't gotta ask me questions.
Yeah, so the minister saw Dre getting on the mic and immediately was like, no, somebody put a timer on him. Like he only got so much amount of time. And in a dream, he was beginning this speech. And I could tell this was leading to a proposal in the dream because he starts talking about me and him, but then it just fades out. And I wake up cracking up. I go in real life now. I go to the funeral. I tell my ministry, or not my ministry team, but I tell my minister the dream, and he's laughing. Move on about my day. It is what it is, right? And like he said, whole time I'm thinking he's going to propose. I'm telling everybody too. I'm like, y'all, he's going to propose every year. Our basically family reunion is called Friends and Family. And I'm like, he's going to propose at Friends and Family. I'm buying an outfit. Like I'm trying to make sure we good. We got it together. and then I find out I'm preaching, and then as soon as I find out and tell him, that's when he put it in gear, like, oh, this one I'm gonna do it. What I did say to people was, and to Dre, make sure people don't tell me to get my nails done. I was like, I don't care how my nails look. The moment you tell me, oh, we about to go to the nail shop, or we finna go get a pedi, as soon as you say that, I already know he finna propose. And I did not want that. I truly wanted to be surprised. The morning of, I'm going over my sermon notes, and this is Pentecost Sunday. I didn't even know this was Pentecost Sunday until my family told me or mentioned it later. So the day of, I'm preparing, we eating breakfast, and Dre looked nervous. Now Dre is doing the announcements. I usually do the announcements every week at church. So I'm like, dang, he really nervous about the announcements. Like, he don't want to speak in front of people. And I kept, cause y'all kept saying like, oh, I'm gonna do the announcements. And I kept saying, Dre, you don't have to. I can get somebody else to do it. But you were like adamant about it. I should have known something then, but nothing clicked. So I'm like, oh, he just want to support me. Like, I'm doing something difficult in front of people. Yeah, I'm doing something difficult. So he want to help me and do something, outside of his comfort zone too. So, but he is getting nervous and more nervous on the ride there. And I'm like, so then I'm like, dang, because, our youth was running that service. I'm like, if I'm this nervous, he this nervous, I know our youth got to be nervous. So I'm just like, let's just pray about all of this. So we go through the sermon. We get to church. My family is dressed up and wearing like what was actually our wedding colors, blue. It doesn't dawn on me because that's also like my parents' favorite color. So I see them. I'm like, oh, dang, they just taking me serious because I'm preaching. Then my brother come in, my niece. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these people here to hear me preach. Then my family comes in. Then I'm walking to the bathroom, and then your mom and your sister come in, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And they look nice, and I'm like, all these people here to hear me preach. Like, I just can't believe they supporting me so much. Like, this is my first sermon.
It was a packed house.
Yeah, my aunties was there, my grandma. Like, it was a lot that I was not expecting. But then this is when I should have known, and I felt something was off. But again, a proposal, that didn't come to mind. My dad comes in, and he don't even talk to me, y'all. Like, he comes in, but he comes in during praise and worship. So yeah, it's not appropriate for him to talk to me, but he ain't, he sits in front of me. He don't look at me, give me a nod, like, you ready, kid? Like, nothing. This man don't say nothing. He come in, and then he starts crying during the praise and worship song. I'm like, dang, the spirit really high? Like, what is going on? Like, he not talking to me. He crying. The spirit really moving. Like, whatever. So I go up. I'm preaching. Apparently, during my sermon, my dad got emotional and he walked out and was crying. I didn't even notice it. But I get to the end of my sermon and I end it earlier because I felt like I couldn't close the way that I couldn't close as strongly as I wanted to. And I'm not the person that, like, if I'm praying, I won't just keep a prayer going just for the sake of keeping it going. Like, if I run out of things to say, the spirit stops speaking, I'm done. And I kind of felt like that happened in my sermon. So I ended early. I ended, and Dre comes up, and now you start the announcement.
I didn't have the ring. I left it.
Just follow us, y'all. It's all gonna make sense.
I didn't have the ring. I left it with my stepmom because at this point in time, I'm kind of just like living out my truck. So it's just like, I don't want to keep this with me because anything can happen. And if anything does happen, anyway, so miscommunication with me and my stepmom.
Y'all, let me just say this. He wasn't homeless. He's a truck driver. Just in case anybody's just now coming in and y'all don't know the whole story. I'm living out my truck. It's like, hold on. You got a ring, but
I was a truck driver at the time. I was on the road. So I have a sleeper berth, bed in there, refrigerator, all that. It's basically, I'm living, my apartment is, I'm in a mobile home.
Right.
Sort of, kind of. So I didn't want to keep the ring in a place where I could knock it over. It can get dirty. Anything could happen because this truck is also my job. So I kept it with my stepmom, and it was some miscommunication because I wound up getting this turtle box, and she assumed that in the turtle box the ring was in there, and I was like, So she wound up leaving the ring at her place.
I had to
So
drive.
she had to drive back and go get it. So Deja is now ending her sermon a whole point before it needs to end.
Like
We
way
rehearsed it.
earlier.
Yeah, we rehearsed it. We went over. I have all the points in my notes, and I didn't like. I helped her. We kind of piggyback off each other with how
He
to
helped me a lot with that sermon.
structure the sermon. And I'm noticing. I'm like, cause I'm sitting next to my twin sister. I'm like, Angela, she about to end this, and Angela's like, why? Why does that matter? I'm like, Mommy Kim ain't back yet.
Mommy Kim is his
My
stepmom.
stepmom. Um,
She wasn't back
and
with
I
the
was
ring.
asking her, I'm like, okay, can you look it up? Because again, I'm keeping track of what Deja is doing. Because also I got to keep track with the announcements. I don't want to have all this up texted and whatnot. Because I could see that she's about to end. So in the midst of, if Deja would have made her last point, what's about to happen didn't have to happen. So I had to go up for announcements, and now I have to stall because she's a certain amount of time away, and there's only a certain amount of time. The announcements is really quick and easy. So now I get up and I'm extremely nervous. And I'm at this point, I'm like telling my family, like, because I'm sitting next to my family, like, yeah, I'm not about to do this. This ain't about to happen. I'll figure it out later. And they was like, no, you got reservations. Just go up there and do it. And whatever happened, happened. So I'm going up there with the mindset that I have to stall. I'm nervous. I'm completely nervous at this point in time. Even now, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the nerves.
Reliving that moment.
Yeah, so I tried to improvise the announcements a little bit.
He took so let me chime in now. He took so long, y'all, and I'm watching because now I go sit down. I'm like, is this how long I take to do the announcements? I'm like, these announcements taking like 10 minutes. Like you was just like, all right, and Susie, you can come up here and read your report card because we like to shout our youth out and like if they got a good report card, we call them up. And like, so we've got service every Sunday. It starts at 11. Like
I was enunciating. Molasses. Yeah, I was enunciating. I don't think I was going that slow, but compared to how
I may be a little dramatic,
compared to how you do it, I'm going slow.
Yeah,
because these are regular announcements. These aren't things that need to be explained and talked about because these are regular. I haven't even got to the new ones, which wasn't a lot. The only basically new one was her telling her report card, which Deja usually does because the kids usually don't speak up. But so we get through that, and I low key was about to repeat what she just said, but I was just like, I'm not about to be that OD. I'm overthinking it now. I was just like, just stick to the script, because I had a whole script on how I wanted to actually propose. I literally deleted it at that point in time because I'm like, I gotta improvise. So I go into a testimonial, which was kind of like half testimonial and literally me just wasting time. And yeah, I was pulling from the sky. Just
it was beautiful. Here's the thing, y'all.
Just grabbing.
We didn't know.
Piece things together, and like you said, they didn't know. I'm shaking my arms because I'm literally feeling numb at this point in time, and I'm just waiting for my stepmom to come in. And she eventually does, and I try to tie it really quickly, which I didn't make. I made a mistake, and by saying like, I meant to say action.
I'm gonna say love is an action,
not a feeling, and I say love is not an action; it's a feeling, which. I explained the action part, but I just said it wrong. And
we know what you meant, though.
Yeah, so that was a very nervous experience, but it wound up became a beautiful, which actually was supposed to happen, which Deja now knows she immediately did not want to do. But what was you about to say?
I was about to say, as I'm listening to this, I don't know that, like, basically everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but like our ministry team, my family, they all knew he was about to propose this day. Of course, I don't know. So my pastor, where we usually have our tripod at, like recording service, he takes it to the back of the room because his goal was to like see get my reaction, because where it sits at, you can't see the room. I'm not noticing all the stuff that's happening.
Hold on camera. This man said, "All right now, Dre."
Yeah, you can hear him. You talking about when he was talking too long? Yes. Like, Dre is just going.
I needed to stall, man.
He talking about, all right now, Dre.
He literally said, all right now.
But here's the other part I was going to say. So he's sharing his testimony about like how his life has transformed since he's come back to Michigan, and he gets into this like brotherhood meeting at our church, how it's helped him in areas he was struggling, and it helped him in relationships. And it helped him understand what love is. Now is segueing because he sees his stepmom walking in the room. So he's like, okay, now I can start transitioning because she's here. And so now he segues into what he wants to say to and or about me. And so he's explaining like, I think I really found love and da 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 da. Whole time, y'all, it's still not clicking that this is leading to a proposal. I'm sitting there listening, and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. When this is over, I'm gonna go up to him and be like, because at first when he said like, I really know what love is, I found true love. I was like, oh, he talking about the love of Jesus. Like, he talking about the love from the Father. I'm like, yeah, the love from God is so beautiful. But then he keeps going, and I'm like, maybe he talking about me. When this is over, I'm gonna go up to him like, hey, was you talking about me today? Is that what you was talking about? And so, it's still not clicking, guys. It's not clicking. He walks over. I see the bag from like the jewelry store. My one request to Dre, well, I won't say one because like I said, I didn't want to have my nails done, but my only proposal request was, please do not propose to me in the box that, don't keep the ring in the same box from when you bought it. Like, put it in a different box, like something cute, a velvet box, or something. I don't know what it is. It's just a me thing. It just, like, get a cute box. Okay, I'm not really an aesthetics girly, but that was just important to me about the aesthetics. So he goes over and he's now taking the ring from the jewelry box and putting it in the turtle box. I don't see the turtle box. I just see, like, because once I saw that bag, I put my head down because I'm like, oh, I literally was like, oh my gosh, like, this is actually happening right now. Once I saw that bag, I just put my head down, and then my dad does this little smirk, and he look over his shoulder because, like I said, he's sitting in front of me, and he looks back at me, and I just was like, I'm in the video just shaking my head like, he is really doing this right now. I couldn't believe it. When I tell you, I was shocked. I was shocked. And so Kay was like, stand up, and because I was just flabbergasted.
No, she told you stand up after I've been down.
Yeah, no. She told me to stand up once you were walking over. Like, when you were walking to me, she was like, stand up. So I stand up, and now the people next to us, they move, just so we can have our space or whatever. And everybody happy, and they already screaming and all of this other stuff. And then Dre gets on one knee. He opens the box. No, he pulls it out. And I'm like, oh, it's a turtle. And like, so the significance to the turtle is, I think I was more excited about the turtle than the ring. I think I was more excited about the turtle than the ring. So the significance is, when Dre and I were in college, when we didn't have the courage to tell each other we liked each other, he randomly one day was like, do friends give friends Christmas gifts? And I was like, I guess, like, if they want to, I don't know. So whatever, I'm not thinking anything of it. Let it go. And then right before Christmas break, he was like, hey, I want you to meet up with me. Like, basically, I got something for you. Okay, whatever. Let's meet up. So then he gives me this jewelry box. I don't even know what it is, but I'm just like, oh, thank you. And then I don't open it in front of him because I'm on my way to class. So I go sit down, I open it, and it's a turtle necklace that I saw and wanted. Like, we were just scrolling through looking for jewelry. We was just looking at jewelry one day, and I was just like, oh, that's a really cute necklace. So I finally go, right before I go into class, I open this box, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, that was the second. You didn't get to see my initial.
I did not,
because you weren't there when I opened it, but so you saw it when we went ring shopping though. It was basically the same reaction.
Oh, that's wild.
Yep. It was literally just that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this dude care about me. I was so happy in that math class. Like, I couldn't think. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, he really bought me this necklace. I wasn't thinking about it at all. And I was like, oh, this is what he meant when he asked me, like, do friends buy friends gifts? So the significance, yes, the turtle box meant something. So it was like, basically, the first piece of jewelry I ever bought you was this turtle, but the most important jewelry that I'll buy, which is your wedding ring or proposal ring, engagement, whatever, is in a turtle box. So that's why So I was so happy, y'all, when I saw that turtle. But Dre being nervous, and I will say the box was slightly complicated. Like you can't really tell which side to open it up on. So I'll give him grace in that because I did the same thing. But he opens it and he breaks it because he opens it from the wrong side. And at that time, the audio, a snapping turtle, like that was going on. That was viral. So my dad and his sister, they all start cracking up. They like, you can hear it, like Alexa's like, Dre, like, oh my gosh, Dre. And they like, yeah, that's such a Dre move. But he snaps it, and then he's like, he's got this shocked face, and now I am laughing. It's so funny. And then he was like, do you want to marry me? And I was like, Andre, yes. And I said Andre because it's like, you just said, do you want to marry me? Not will you marry me? But I'm like, it's cool. He nervous. He just broke this turtle. He wasn't expecting it. So
I'm done with the limelight. I wanted it to be off.
Yeah, I'm like, it's okay. Whole time I'm thinking. So I'm like, yes. And they thought it was, you didn't think I was going to say anything. Or you didn't think I was going to say your name or whatever. You thought I was going to be like, yeah, or something. And I'm like, yes. So whole time, because mind you, y'all, we in church. And I've seen a lot of proposals usually, or a lot of times the guy proposes, she says yes, and they kiss. They hug and kiss. I am calculating in my mind, like, I pray to God he does not think we're about to kiss in this church. Like, and that's not even him, but because I've seen how proposals go, I'm just like, oh my goodness. So I immediately, like, while he's on one knee, hug him before he even comes up. And I hug him in a way that there's absolutely no way he could kiss me, because I needed to make sure like that wasn't gonna happen, because I'm like, we can't do this in church. That would. So then afterwards, I'm looking at everybody, I'm like, y'all knew. Like, everybody knew. And it's funny because here's the wild part. I had already sent save the dates before this, so people knew we were getting married. They just weren't aware that he hadn't officially proposed yet. Like, so to some people, I know they probably were so confused, like, wait a minute. Because my brother, he was like, wait a minute, you sent the save the dates and y'all ain't even engaged yet. Right. So I'm like, yeah, because we knew what we was doing. And it was like, we sent save the dates earlier because we had to we knew when we were going to get married. We already had the date. When I tell y'all, it was planned that quick. And I always told him, I was like, I do not want to be engaged for long. So like, we either gonna do it this month or this month. So it was super quick. So I know people were like extremely confused, but other people who like did not know that we had sent save the dates were extremely happy, and like it was a big deal. The kids were happy because the kids didn't know. Like, some of them may have known we were getting married,
one wasn't.
So it was this big thing, and I'm like, y'all knew. I had the most delayed response. So now my minister, I sit down, my minister goes up because now maybe he's finna give a benediction or something. I don't know. And I bust out ugly crying. I'm so glad you can't hear it. You can't even hear it like in the video because it sounded so ugly. And it was like 10 minutes later, it hit me. I started crying because I'm like, oh my gosh, he really did this. Like, I wasn't crying because I think I was crying because of how intentional it was and how surprised I actually was. Because to know you already have the ring and like have everything planned, it in a way can take away from this, the sense of surprise, but it didn't. And I'm like, I bought a shirt. I thought you were going to do this at Friends and Family. I had a whole outfit planned. Whole time my family knew, like my stepmom knew it was happening, and she heard me talking about the shirts and didn't say a word. She just let me go ahead and buy this little shirt. And then we went out to eat afterwards with the family. Took pictures at his truck because they wanted to see the truck. It was just a very beautiful day. And yeah, I'm really happy. Yep. And it's nostalgic because I will be preaching soon, and it'll be the same weekend. Like last year, it was the last weekend of May. This year, I'm preaching the last weekend of May. So it's just like, oh, it's nostalgic. Just a year ago, like he was proposing to me. I had no clue it was happening. And I was so glad that even though you told all of these people, like everybody kept it a secret. Like nobody's, nah. Tell them what happened. Tell them what happened with your dad. So it almost got spilled.
My dad is a jokester, which I probably mentioned before. I feel like that's a sentence I said. I might have been on the podcast, might not have been. But my dad likes to joke. I forget how it happened.
I remember. I bought Dre a birthday card last year in May, obviously because his
Oh,
birthday's in May,
yeah.
and the card said to my fiance, but he hadn't proposed yet. So Dre took a picture of like the gifts that I bought him in the car and sent it to his family. You know, we're all in a group chat. And his dad responds to it like, wait, what do you mean fiance? Like y'all not even engaged yet. And then well, I don't remember what you said.
I just respond, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And everything like that. And then he responds.
No, but let me say this. So Dre says something joke because he's just like his dad in certain ways. So he says this jokester type of response. And when I was like, Dre, why would you say that? Because now your dad probably gonna respond like and give the details of the proposal based on your response. Like, I thought you said you was gonna do blah blah blah. I said it.
She said it verbatim.
What verbatim. Like he gonna be like.
So we have two different group chats, and one of the group chats Deja isn't a part of.
Yeah.
So he looks in the group chat where I told them exactly how I'm going to propose to her, when I'm going to propose, and what's happening. I told him everything that's going on. He goes to that group chat to then grab that message, come back to the group chat that she's in, and puts it in that one.
Like you said you was going to
do this. And I'm just like, Deja, give me your phone. Because he did exactly. And it was like, as soon as she said it,
he did it.
But she said it, put her phone down, and walked out the room. No.
Yeah.
No, she said it, grabbed her phone, and walked out the room. And when she did it, I'm like, give me your phone. Like, I immediately said it because I did not want her to look at the notification. And I deleted off her phone. And we start going back and forth. I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, so that was, I almost found out because of that. But to me, it was like, Dre, that's your fault. Because why did you play?
But yeah, like, why did you play the way that again, we have multiple group chats. I didn't think he was going to air it out. He could have texted me separately.
Yeah.
Which, understandably so, now thinking back on that my dad's not good with all that, I definitely should have made sure about coming down here that he actually got it. But
so
that she almost got that. I almost tripped up a couple of times because
he wanted to tell me so bad. He wanted to ask questions about it.
Like, is this something that you actually okay with? Like, she's okay with. That's what I'm saying. Like, Deja like to be surprised, but she doesn't like to be surprised. It's like you got to do it in the right setting. And I feel like that setting was like her emotions gonna be on end. Like, there's a lot going on. She's okay in group settings, but also, like, you know, all of us got it. All of us got it. Where it's just like certain things make you nervous, and it's like she does announcements all the time, but just like everybody dialed in on her makes her a little bit nervous. So I'm like, she probably don't want that.
Yeah, no, that was an amazing day. And I remember going to my minister afterwards, like, do you remember when I told you I had a dream about this? Like, this is so crazy that this happened this way. This is truly hilarious. But so I guess the next episode we talk about wedding weekend and wedding day.
Yep. Because after that, it was pretty calm. You know, it was a summertime, but I'm on the road. Like I said, I don't really have regular PTO, so we're just going through that process of being engaged and me being on the road and figure out this new job. So yeah, next episode we're going to explain like how the wedding actually went and what went on from there. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for allowing us to catch you guys up. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and we pray that this message was so on time.
Amen. Bye.